every single teacher I have ever had, from Tony Robbins, Jordan Peterson, Gabby Bernstein, tealswan, waynedyer, edmylett, you name it, every single teacher has given this piece of advice. And not just the top ones, every single teacher that I have ever had has had this piece of advice to offer, and most of them will say that it is the most important piece of advice you can ever get, because it'll change your life no matter where you're at, what you're going through. First of all, welcome to another video. I'm Ann Blackwood, your Silicon Valley Sage Sister, here to bring consciousness to the forefront of your daily life to make life a little kinder and simpler. So, what is this piece of advice, you ask? Well, it's learning to understand what you can control, what you can change in your life, what you can't, and then taking action by changing what you can, controlling what you can. It's basically the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. If you can start to understand this, start to apply it to your life, no matter where you are at, your life will change for the better. Like, truly and honestly, it is got to be the most important piece of advice that I could give anyone that I have ever been given, that all of my top teachers, all of my teachers would say is the most important piece of advice. So this starts to come down to, what can we change? What can't we change? What can we control? What can't we control? And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a trigger warning here, because what I'm about to talk about when it comes to what are human constructs versus what is the cold hard facts of reality, it's in the collective consciousness right now, so I feel like it's important to talk about, but we're going to get into the difference between gender and biological sex, because I feel like it's important to talk about, and it makes my point as far as what we can change, what we can control, and what we can't. So let's get into gender first, because I feel like more people are going to agree with me on this than the latter. So gender is absolutely a human construct in the sense of what is masculine and what is feminine. There is a period of time, there are cultures that consider dresses, skirts, absolutely masculine. People wore loincloths for years. And yet there was a point where we decided skirts were for women, pants were for men, and never the twain shall meet. This is an example of a human construct. What is masculine and what is feminine? Because what is masculine and what is feminine is a human construct in the sense that it's not tangible, it's not observable. It's what we've labeled as masculine or feminine categorically, subjectively, as where biological sex, it's not a human construct. It's a cold, hard fact of reality. And this is where the trigger warning comes in. But I feel like it needs to be said. So I watch this guy on YouTube. I watch his videos, Mr.Menno. And he's amazing. And he went to a Posey Parker Speaker's Corner just the other day, and I was watching his video on it, and he talked about how some other woman, which unfortunately I don't know what her name is, I would love to give her credit for this, because as simple as this explanation is, it's like the perfect way to describe the difference between a man and a woman, biological sex and gender as a construct. So Mr.Menno was explaining to us that this woman was saying how a vagina, a penis, an actual vagina or an actual penis is a human organ. And it's pretty simple, it's pretty obvious, but people don't think about that. Our heart, our brain, our lungs, our liver, they're human organs, as is our genitals. Scientifically, what we know as the vagina, the vaginal canal, that in and of itself is an organ. As where if you were to take someone's penis and turn it inside out, if you were to take a piece of somebody's arm, that is not a human organ. That is a piece of someone's skin attached to somewhere else on their body. That does not a human organ make. It's just the truth, guys. People can get mad at me if they want, but sometimes the truth, no matter how kindly it's stated, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. So this is when we can start to understand the difference between what a human construct is and what cold hard reality is. Because cold hard reality is that you cannot create a vagina or a penis out of another piece of body part. It's still going to be that body part, just fashioned into something else. But you cannot take a piece of someone's colon, put a hole in their body, put that colon there, and have it actually be a vagina. That's still somebody's colon shoved up into their body. That's why often people who medicalize wonder why their brand new body cavity smells like shit. Well, sweetheart, it's because it's made out of something that used to process your shit. So now we can start to understand the difference between human constructs versus cold hard reality and the things that we cannot change. Because right now, we can't 3D print organs even. They're not viable. They don't work. And until then, you can't take a piece of human skin and turn it into something else. It's still going to be that piece of human skin functionally. A great example of this is I had a friend who had skin cancer. They took a little piece off his nose, took a little piece off his butt, stuck that butt skin on his nose, and it was still butt skin, and it was still growing the same hair on his nose that it was growing on his butt. It's still butt skin, it's just now on your nose. So, I want to leave you with this. When you can start to understand the things that you can change and the things you can't, and start acting on those things you can change, your life will change for the better. It's amazing. I remember the first time I was given that piece of advice and actually started acting on it. My life has never looked the same since, and in all of the best ways. No matter how spiritual you are, we live in 3D reality. And there are things about 3D reality we cannot change. And when we can learn to accept those things and so start to focus our energy on the things that we can, life gets a hell of a lot easier. All right, guys, thank you for joining me for another video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to check out all the links in the description. That includes working with me one-on-one. That includes my Patreon, where I have even more amazing videos where I get even deeper into the spiritual and the practical when it comes to making your life healthier and happier. That includes journal exercises, guided meditations, my intuitive lifestyle course, which is the basics of what I do with my clients one-on-one, wrapped up in a neat little package. That includes my Spirituality 101 and 2.0 series, including working the A Course in Miracles student workbook, which we're doing right now in Spirituality 2.0. I also have links to dōTERRA, which is your one-stop shop for all your natural living needs. If you're like me and you like to get rid of all of those synthetic chemical products in your home, in your life, and replace them with the best plant-based products, the best natural products, dōTERRA is for you. Bunch of other links in the description. Go checking them out. Go checking them. I don't know where that came from. Go check them out. I guess that came from me just talking too fast. And as always, may the energies you serve you well. And let's keep making our way through.